Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is the podcast about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. Now, today I want to talk about a lesson I got from a great book, which is Psychology of Money. I'll be sure to have a link to that in the description below. It's a really good book. Highly recommend it. And one of the things I want to talk about is one thing he talks, the author, whose name is Morgan Housel, so he talks about taking, like, basically avoiding crazy risks, because what you want to do is, when you're investing, is like, you don't want to get wiped out. So don't invest all your money, put all your money into one kind of stock, like, I don't know, in Tesla or something like that. Who knows what can happen? And you don't want to be in a situation where, you kind of have money and you could, like, very easily lose it. Who knows what could happen when you have your money just all tied up in one thing like that? For example, there's been lots of stories about cryptocurrency scams and things like that, where people invested loads of money into a cryptocurrency, and then, they never heard from that money again. I know BBC did like a podcast about one called the Crypto Queen. It was quite interesting. They kind of looked into different things. So, by investing money into something like that is very risky, and, anything can happen. And yeah, let me just put out a quick disclaimer, which is that I am not a financial advisor. Everything I say is just my own personal opinions. It's just from my own experience. It's just for entertainment information purposes. I'm also not an Islamic scholar, so this is just my own experience that I'd like to share. Hopefully I can share some more information out there that I've kind of picked up from others. And what I like to do is basically just, like, invest my money, like a small amount, regularly every sort of month, to something which is proven to do really well, which is like index funds. So I just kind of invest in index funds and just leave it, and just kind of invest my money for the long term. I'm talking about at least 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, something like that. And the key thing here is the power of compounding. You want to let your money compound, and don't interrupt it. So, if I invest money for, a few years, and suddenly it's a recession or something, and I stop investing, and that kind of messes things up in terms of the compounding and in terms of how much money I can make in the long haul. So it's very important to keep that regular amount going. So whether it's £50, £100, £150, $100, whatever it is, every month, just keep putting that in. Just keep putting that in and try to ride out any waves. So we're all thinking about the longer term here. And another thing is, like, recession as well. You still want to continue during the recession. You just still want that money compounding. You don't want to interrupt it as well, and keep it regularly as well. So make sure that money is being invested, say, every month. And even if it's a small amount, this can add up over 5 years, 10 years, things like that. And there's a story I think he talks about in the book, where someone kind of made like $3 billion or something from some, I don't know, some sort of sale or something, or other, but then kind of risked it all, and it ended up losing all of it, which is, it sounds like crazy, but, sometimes these things do happen, especially, as Muslims, we don't gamble, but, within the gambling circles, things like that happen all the time. So yeah, it's very important to be, when you have money, is to, one is to kind of invest and get some money, but also to try and keep that money as well. And the other thing is that by investing my money, I'm talking about the long haul, is that gradual. I want that money to grow gradually. Whenever I hear anything that says, "Oh yeah, you can make money super quickly, just put your money in there within a year or a year and a half, you can make like loads of money," it just sounds very scammy. But back in the day, I was kind of, oh, if my friend said this or said that, then, I might actually end up investing. I remember I invested a while ago in some sort of, I think it was some company that was looking for oil or something. This was when I was much younger, and they just ended up finding water, and I was just kind of following and copying people, and, I just didn't know better back then. But obviously now I do know a lot better. And with index funds as well, is one of the things. Don't expect a massive gain straight away. I know I'm in this for the long haul. I'm just investing the money in there. I don't even check it that often, maybe once a month, sometimes once every 2 months. I just kind of just invest money and just kind of just see what happens. Yeah, and I'm looking at the long haul. So 10, 15 years plus. That's the sort of time I'm looking at. And the other thing is that, this is a very boring but a very effective way to invest. One of the things is that people don't like this because, it's just putting money into something. It's quite boring. It's very simple as well. The fact that does sound quite boring. It's very simple. You put your money in there and just kind of just forget about it, really. It's not like those people you see on Bloomberg TV or I know I'm picking on Bloomberg, but like any of those, like, oh, what's it? There's I think what's MSNBC as well. I think there's one in the US. I think that we have it in the UK as well. And there's this like person that just goes crazy all the time. And all of this stuff is just kind of noise. Prices going up and down, up and down, up and down. At the end of the day, I don't really care. I'm just looking in the long term. And in the long term, what the past kind of showed me, what most like people like Warren Buffett, I recommend they just put money in the index fund and just leave it and let these companies grow. Let me build up dividends. Let me build up this portfolio. Essentially, that's what I'm planning on doing. And yeah, there's a great quote from Warren Buffett, which I have down here, which is, "There's no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need." So, if you do somehow make some money, whether it's via investment, some sort of, I don't know, money from work or something like that, don't risk all of it on something like really crazy. And that's it for today. So thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it if you smash that like button if you're watching the video, or subscribe to the podcast. That really means a lot to me. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.